Hi everyone, this is update number 9, I believe, for what's been going on with my father and his condition. This is well overdue. I apologize to everyone. I'm so sorry. Not gonna lie, sometimes I don't have time, but for the most recent, sometimes I forget. I forgot to do the upload. So I just came back from Boston. I went and I saw my dad today, and you know, he's really doing well. I've been noticing like the swelling on his right side of his body has been going down. He still has some swelling around his temple area, so hopefully that will eventually go down. Time will tell with that. Well, I'm sure it will, but it will take some time, I should say. His speech is getting better. I mean, he's not able to form complete full sentences and talk normally, but he's saying different phrases. So he's not just saying yes and no. He's actually coming out with different phrases. He's more aware of what's going on. He's I should say a little bit more conscious. Yeah, I can't speak. Whew, long day. He's more awake about what things, you know, what things are going on. So he's able to respond faster, I've noticed. So if someone asks him a question, he's quicker to respond, whereas I want to say even like a week ago, you'd ask a question and you'd have to pause after the question for him to process it and then come to an answer. Now I noticed when he had questions being thrown at him today, and it could just be because, you know, repetition, everybody's asking the same questions all the time. That could be the case, but even when I'd ask different questions, you know, how are you doing today, Dad? He'd say good, and it would be almost instantaneous that he'd come out with a reply. So he is doing a lot better with that. So I'm going to talk about the next steps of what's going on. So he, I don't know if I said in my last video about the CAT scans and the MRIs and the ultrasound done on his right arm. Ultrasound came back clean. No blood clots. We were a little bit worried because his arm was very swollen. So if you guys already know about this, I'm sorry. I didn't look at video number 8, so I don't know what I said and what I didn't say, and dates are all kind of jumbled in, so I'm not quite sure. But ultrasound on his right side of his, you know, his right arm came back clean. The CT scan came back that maybe he had a couple of little mini strokes. There was a little bit of lighted area in some of the images, and the MRI came back that he was bleeding near the incision site. I think I did talk about this, but anyways, that's been taken care of. I don't know. We don't really know too much about the little mini strokes things because I don't think that was really too much of an issue. I don't know if anything caused damage because still my dad's very swollen, so we don't know exactly. I think that's going to be much later down the road right now. They're trying to get his heparin level or his blood level back to, you know, the right consistency, not too thin, not too thick, because he does have that mechanical valve for his heart. So I guess heparin was a little too much for him, so now he's back on Coumadin, and they're just playing the balancing act with the Coumadin pills to make sure that he's not getting too much and too little. So it seems that my dad is very sensitive with some of the medicine that they've been giving him. So he might even be on 0.5 milligrams of Coumadin, which is not a lot, but my dad's like that rare case. So that's what's going on there. He got the staples out of his head because the first time he had the surgery where they removed the skull and the tumor, when they removed the skull to release some of the pressure in his brain, they sutured him up with just regular stitches. This time around, when they removed the tumor, put the skull back on, they actually stapled him. So they removed some of the staples last week, and then today the oncologist actually removed the rest that were kind of going around his ear. So he doesn't have any staples in his head right now, and his scar, you know, it's healing. It's healing nicely. Now for what's also coming in the future is he's at a point right now where they're going to start to treat him with chemo and radiation. And I had many questions for the doctor, the oncologist, about, radiation, because, when he had the tumor in his head, they were saying, we can't do radiation because we can't focus on that one part. We can't focus on the tumor. We'd have to actually do radiation over his whole brain. That is not the case anymore. So they can actually take, and I don't know how they do it, but they can actually focus on that one area and do radiation for that. He's also going to be doing chemo, and I believe, if I'm getting this right, because, I'm not good with remembering, like, dates and numbers and all that type of stuff, but I believe what's going to start to happen is he's going to get 7 days of chemo, which is a pill, so he'll take it orally, and then he'll get 5 days of radiation. So he'll be doing that in the hospital. Now, supposedly that's going to start the end of this week, because they don't do chemo and radiation until after 2 weeks after surgery, and on Thursday will be exactly 2 weeks, the 2-week marker for when he had his surgery. So maybe Thursday they'll start him on chemo and radiation, maybe Friday, I don't know, maybe even next Monday, but the next plan is to start him on a chemo and radiation regimen. When that gets going, the next step is rehab, getting out of the hospital and go into a rehab. Most likely it's going to be, well, it is going to be in Boston, obviously. It's going to be Spalding, which, by the way, is one of the best rehab facilities that you can go to. A lot of the bombing victims from the Boston Marathon went to Spalding. In fact, they went from Beth Israel to Spalding, so it's like my dad's following the path. But anyways, so that's pretty much the plan. To me, it's still kind of in the far future. I'm still going, one day at a time. My dad seems like he's going one day at a time, but he's doing a lot better. Which brings me to my last point. My dad is feeling better. He might even be feeling lonely, so time for visitors. So if you guys want to come and see my dad, friends and family, then, just call my mom on her cell phone, set up a time and a date, because, we don't want 10 people just showing up, and then, we can't all be in the room at the same time. So just so we can get, like, a schedule for people coming and visiting, that way we just don't have everybody all at once. So just call my mom on her cell phone. If you don't have her cell phone number, then email her. If you don't have email, well, you're probably not watching this video right now, so I guess it doesn't matter. So either email her or call her on her cell phone, and you guys can start to set up visiting times and visiting dates. And like I said, he might be maybe the beginning of next week going to rehab at Spalding. So it's all up in the air right now, as it always will be. But that's pretty much the update that I can give you right now. My dad's doing a lot better. He's more alert and awake, and he's responding very, very well. And, hopefully it will continue on this path. The only thing that's downside is he still does not have any movement whatsoever on his right side of his body. So right now it's paralyzed. He knows that he can't move it. He said to the doctors when they ask him, they do the little neuro test, can you move your right hand? He says no. Can you move your left hand? And he says no. So he's aware that he cannot move it. He does have feeling, though, in his right side. So when they touch his arm or hand or leg or anywhere on his right side of his body, he feels it. So the oncologist says that he is very optimistic that my dad will regain mobility back in his right side. So, keep the prayers coming, keep the healing energy coming, keep the Reiki coming, and, just send all those healing thoughts and prayers his way. But that's what's going on right now. Again, I'm sorry that I'm updating you guys so late. This is so overdue, but I'll try and be a lot better about it. As soon as I get more information, I will make another video and send it to you all. Alright? So I will see you later. Again, thank you so much for all of your cards and your blessings, and continue to pray for him, please. Alright, I'll see you all next time. Bye. Namaste.